listening to KPG 66.5, Dinosaur Talk Radio, your favorite prehistoric podcast for research, entertainment, and all things dinosaurs.
Welcome all my dinosaur kids. I'm your host, Dinosaur Ranger Anthony, and I hope you guys are all having an amazing Friday. We are live right here in the Dino Bus Studios, ready to kick off episode number 20 of the KPG. I keep almost saying Dinosaur Review for Kids, but you guys, that was my previous podcast, so check that one out if you want to listen to that one too. But you're listening to KPG 66.5 Dinosaur Talk Radio, and we're ready, like I said, to kick off episode number 20. 20 episodes so far of my new podcast journey, and it is just awesome. It's your favorite, hopefully your favorite prehistoric podcast for research, entertainment, and all things dinosaurs. Now, today is Friday, April 3rd. So, you guys, today is Good Friday if you're a Christian faith. And it is the day that Jesus passed long, long ago. And that is what we celebrate Good Friday. Easter is the day he rose. And we will talk a little bit more about that a little bit later on as we do our Easter-themed episode in our Dino Egg Hunts for today. But thank you guys so much for tuning in if you follow in live on YouTube, or if you're even listening later on throughout the week on YouTube or any of our podcast platforms, okay? And if you're on YouTube, make sure to hit that little bell button so you get notified when I go live and everything like that. So you can subscribe, which is totally easy, but then hit that bell and then you're notified when I go live here on YouTube, okay? But let's talk about this week, all right? So this week, I've got 3 shows this week. 2 of them happened, 1 is tomorrow. So on Tuesday, I went to Little Feet, Big Steps Childcare and Preschool. Had tons of fun with those kiddos. I go there every March or April. I think I've been there 4 or 5 years now, and I always just have tons of fun out there. Then yesterday, I went to Brookstone Village of Papillion, and that is an assisted living home for elderly people. And they had an egg hunt. So I'm assuming all the grandkids and kids of the folks that are living there at the assisted living, they got invited. The kids all did an Easter egg hunt, and then they came and saw me and do a dinosaur show right afterwards, and it was tons of fun. My very first show at an Easter egg hunt, and they were already talking about what time to bring me for next year. So super cool. I can't wait to be back again. Then you guys, we had the Artemis launch. Our rocket ship went straight up into the sky, you guys, up into space, and it was just amazing. It just brings you chills seeing the amount of technology that our civilization has become. Dinosaurs didn't send dinosaurs up into space, did they? No. And if they had, maybe they would have stopped the asteroid strike. But nope, the dinosaurs went extinct, and we're the ones going up to space. So it was super fun, you guys. What was that? Was that Wednesday already? My week is just crazy. So we watched the space shuttle launch. It was amazing. They all got up there safely as they are now away from the Earth's orbit and making their way, I believe, to the moon, where they'll go around the backside of the moon and then come back and spin back down to our planet. So that hopefully, going with this sort of test run, it helps us get back to the moon. Hopefully get back to the moon. It helps us get back to the moon. I believe they want to 2028. So here in just a couple years, hopefully we will have some people on the moon. How cool would that be? And hopefully they see the flag from 1969. That would be super cool too, if it's still there. I think I even read something once that the stuff that is there, like radiation, just would have like wiped it out or something like that. But I don't know. I'm not an astronaut. I'm not that type of scientist. We are talking about paleontology. Now, my show count for this week, I'm up to 198 shows for this year, 141 for this summertime. I just can't believe it. Every week it just grows up about another 10 shows, and I don't know when it's going to stop because there's no more room in the summertime. So where people are going to find spots to book me, I do not know. But it has been an awesome week. I've been working on my props. So for this summer's new show that I keep talking about, I think I spent maybe $800 in all new props, you guys. I'm getting all kinds of new gear shipped over from Amazon, a few other places, so that I can work in some of our new segments that I can't wait to tell you guys about too. But let's go ahead and we'll start our show for today. Let me go ahead and grab our plug because we've got another dinosaur business that went ahead and sponsored our show for today. So today's show is sponsored by Oviraptor Egg Depot and Hatchery Lab. The Oviraptor Egg Depot and Hatchery Lab. We know the Oviraptor, the egg thief. But was it really stealing eggs? Was it stealing eggs to eat? Or was it just simply protecting its young? I don't know. It was named the egg thief, but today we believe that those were just its own eggs that it was trying to protect in a massive sandstorm. But you guys, that is it right there. Boom, we'll switch back over. Where am I at? I'm over here. I've got two multi-cameras now, you guys, with my new laptop. It's just amazing. Even though the big one, it seems like it's not lighting things up as well as my old computer, which is very, very strange. But let's go ahead, you guys, and we'll step in to Steggy's Pizzeria. Perfect. We'll set my coffee down. Actually, it's my protein shake. And we'll grab our pizza box here, you guys. And we've got all those fun facts in there. One fact, everybody knows the rules. We'll see what we got. All right, let's mix up those slices. Today we want cheese or anchovies because it's Friday, the last Friday of Lent. No meat today. Cheese or anchovies. Do you guys like anchovies? They are actually pretty good. All right, let's grab our slice out. We'll shut our pizza box right there. Do you see the egg back there? Why is there eggs behind me? All right, here comes our fun fact of today. The massive claws of Therizinosaurus could grow over 3 feet long, longer than most kids' arms. That's right, you guys. The length of the Therizinosaurus claw is so long, it's longer than your arms. Isn't that wild? How would you like to replace your arm with a Therizinosaurus claw? Wouldn't that be wild? That would just be kind of crazy, huh? We just have 2 big claws. That's the perfect way to do our Easter egg hunt. But you guys, that's right. The massive claws of Therizinosaurus could grow over 3 feet long, longer than most kids' arms. And I've got one right there in my in our display case. But that is our fun fact for today, you guys. One fact, everybody knows the rules. All right, let's switch back to, boom, we're back up to me. All right, good morning, David. I see you sitting there in the chat. Thank you so much for joining into our YouTube Live. And I'll go ahead. Let me bring down our lesson, our topic of discussion for episode 20, and that is the dino egg hunt. So we're going on a dino egg hunt today, okay? But that is at the end of our lesson. So let's do a little bit of education, and then what we'll do is we'll go over, and I'm going to grab my camera over there, and I'm going to try not to make you guys very dizzy or anything like that. And I'll show you guys, we're going to look in the dinosaur diorama, and you guys are going to find 12 Easter eggs. And they're super cool looking. Wait until you see those Easter eggs. They are dynamite, or should I say Artemis 2. There's a little hint. All right, you guys, our lesson for today, we are doing the dino egg hunt. How do we know dinosaurs laid eggs? How do we know that dinosaurs laid eggs like this one? Look, there's a little dinosaur egg right here. Now, this one's just pretend, but it does have something inside. We crack it open, and look what we get. We've got dinosaur babies. Oh, let's grab another one. I got a T-Rex left in here? Doesn't look like it. Dimetrodon, that one's not even a dinosaur. I keep grabbing Pachycephalosaurus. There's like a little velociraptor guy. But those are all kinds of little baby dinosaurs that I take to some of my shows. But how do we know dinosaurs even laid eggs? Well, it's simple. We find their trace fossils. So trace fossils are activities from the past. We find the trace fossils. We know dinosaurs laid eggs long ago, right? We find all kinds of dinosaur eggs, all different shapes and sizes. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Dinosaur eggs come in different shapes and sizes. We have spheroidal and elongated, okay? Say that with me. Spheroidal and elongated. So you guys, eggs range from 1 to 24 inches in length. And they couldn't get much bigger, otherwise they would just be too heavy. Now imagine if this egg right here was the size of like a recliner, and that was a sauropod's egg. The eggshell would have to be so heavy to support its own weight. And if it was that heavy, it would just crush itself. Also, eggs have tiny, tiny little pores in them. So those pores that are in there help give oxygen to the baby, the embryo inside. So if the eggshell is super heavy and thick, well, then it's not going to be able to breathe very well. So even our massive dinosaurs like Argentinosaurus that we talked about last week, 120 feet long, it still has a small grapefruit-shaped egg. So even those big creatures came from tiny little eggs, okay? So they couldn't get ginormous like a recliner or like a big chair. Now, scientists can also divide eggs into 3 additional groups based on the texture of the eggshell, but we won't get too much into those for today's episode. Now, both herbivores and carnivore dinosaurs may have protected their eggs, okay? So, meat eaters and plant eaters, they were protecting their eggs. They were good moms and dads, and they were protecting all of their dinosaur babies, okay? Now, let's talk about the spheroidal ones. I should have grabbed 2 real replica examples. Maybe I'll show you guys when we spin and do our egg hunt. I'll show you the eggs that I have in my traveling museum display case right here. Now, spheroidal. So those are round in shape. Think of like a basketball, okay? If you had a basketball or a grapefruit, some kind, maybe a bowling ball. That is a sphere. It's a ball. It's like a circle. A circle is 2D though. When you make a circle 3D, it becomes a sphere. So you guys, a sphere is round in shape, and they're about the size of a grapefruit. Now, these eggs are commonly associated with herbivores like sauropods and ornithopods. Now, these dinosaurs laid their eggs, you guys, in large clutches. Here, 1 second. Perfect. Now, you guys, these dinosaurs laid their eggs likely in large clutches, often bearing them in simple nests or pits, similar to how crocodiles lay eggs today. Now, the incubation time is estimated to be around 6 months. But how do we know that? How do we know a dinosaur baby took 6 months to hatch out from the eggs? And what we find, you guys, scientists can study the growth by looking at tiny growth rings or the growth lines in fossilized baby teeth in the tiny dinosaurs. Like we find Maiasaura. They find Maiasaura babies still in the eggs. So scientists can analyze those teeth, see the growth rings, kind of like we see on a tree's trunk, and be able to determine how old they're in there. They've been in there 6 months. So our incubation time, we believe, is around 6 months, okay? Now, nest size could range from 10 to 40 eggs. 10 to 40 eggs? Why would you want to lay 40 eggs? And you guys, laying many eggs increase the chance of survival. So we want to survive more than the meat eaters, because I am team herbivore, team herbivore, team herbivore, team herbivore. So you guys, the herbivores need to be laying more eggs. So up to 40 eggs in a single clutch. And laying those is going to help protect the species, the genus, and its survival back during the Mesozoic era. Now, some dinosaurs like Triceratops are thought to have laid soft shell eggs, you guys, sort of like how we see snakes today. So these softer shell eggs would have made it much harder for them to fossilize, which is why they're even a more rare dinosaur egg or dinosaur trace fossil to find out of all of our dinosaur eggs, okay? So those softer shell eggs, you guys, would make it much less likely to fossilize. Now, I also read no Stegosaurus or Ankylosaurus eggs have been found, sadly, for those two genus of dinosaurs. So no stegi or no bumpy dinosaur eggs. All right, that's all about the spheroidal. Let's talk about elongated. The elongated eggs. Think about theropods. So elongated eggs are oval shaped with a narrow top and a wider bottom. So think of like a modern day's bird egg, or even this pretend puzzle egg that I have right here. It's more narrow at the top, it gets wider at the bottom. So, and it's elongated, so it's kind of like an oval a little bit, a weird shaped oval. Remember, it's narrow, gets wider, but it's long, so it's not going to be a ball or a sphere like the spheroidal eggs. So our elongated eggs, you guys, oval in shape, narrow top, wider, rounded at the bottom. These eggs are associated with theropods, including modern day birds. Now, some species likely laid eggs in pairs over time. So they laid a couple eggs today, they laid a couple more eggs tomorrow, they laid 2 more eggs in 3 days, they laid 2 more eggs in 4 days, and so on, you guys. Super, super cool. Now, you guys, scientists have found evidence that theropods arrange their eggs, you guys, in circular ring-shaped nest, sometimes with multiple layers and an open center. This nest design may have helped with incubation and protection of all the eggs. The oval shape also helped prevent eggs from rolling too far away, keeping them clustered in the nest. So theropods often laid eggs as well, around 10 to 30 eggs at most. So they don't have as many eggs as our herbivores. Herbivores are laying more eggs. They are surviving. They're trying to survive out the meat eaters and all of those theropods. Theropod eggs, they're in more of that elongated shape. They're in a ring that's helping them not be able to roll out of the nest, so they can stay on the surface and not be able to roll away. Whereas remember those plant eaters, where it's more of a sphere, more of a ball-shaped egg, they're putting them down in the nest in the mud pits. So they're protected by the earth. They're not going to roll away like a bowling ball or a basketball going down the street, okay? So the plant eaters who have sphere eggs are more protecting them in the ground, whereas our theropods, they can leave them more in clutches in those little, those egg rings on the surface and hopefully protect them a little bit, like our oviraptor protecting all of its eggs. Perfect. Now let's talk about egg colors. What's your question, David? How old was the youngest dinosaur egg? How old was the youngest dinosaur egg? How old is the youngest dinosaur egg? I'm not sure, David. That's a good question, though. How young are the youngest babies found in the oldest dinosaur egg? I don't know. I know the Mysore, remember, they believe about 6 months incubation time. So finding that species, we can know that they're in there about 6 months and whatnot. But when we get into colors, we all always see those white eggs, right? Just like a chicken's egg. Chickens lay white eggs. Sometimes we see brown ones, lighter browns, speckled in color as well. So you guys, for a long time, scientists thought dinosaur eggs were plain white. Boring, like many reptile eggs today, right? But new research shows that some dino eggs, especially from theropods, the meat eaters, were actually colored, just like my microphone right here. Maybe green, or maybe a light blue, kind of like we see in bird eggs today, you guys. So you guys, specifically the theropods, might have actually been colored. Now, studies of fossil pigments, so pigment is like another word for like the colors. The pigment is the color of what color it is. So you guys, studies of fossil pigments have been found that certain theropod eggs contain the same pigments seen in bird eggs today, including reddish brown, blue, green, and speckled patterns. Now, these pigments were discovered in eggs from dinosaurs like oviraptor that we keep mentioning as the egg thief. Now, based on fossil evidence and comparison with birds today, some dinosaur eggs may have been blue or blue-green or green or brown or speckled reddish brown or even an off-white. So color may have helped with the camouflage in open nests or parent recognition of the eggs, and some scientists also believe that maybe the pigment, you guys, may have helped strengthen the eggshell. So the color of the pigments in the eggshell might have even strengthened it so that it was better protected. The eggshell has better defense against cracking open and things like that. So again, we possibly believe, you guys, dinosaur egg colors could be blue, blue-green, green, brown, speckled reddish brown, or even a off-white, okay? So those are the 6 colors that we believe dinosaur eggs could be by seeing some of the fossilized pigments and also comparing it to bird eggs today, okay? What else do I got here? I mentioned that they might be able to strengthen the eggshell, but that is also still being studied about the pigments making the eggshells a little bit stronger. All right, you guys, that is our lesson about dinosaur eggs. So we talked about how we know dinosaurs laid eggs. We've got their trace fossils. We talked about spheroidal and elongated dinosaur eggs, how there's those 2 different shapes, how our plant eaters are more of those sphere, ball-shaped eggs, and meat eaters are more of the elongated eggs. And then we talked about those 6 colors just there a minute ago of what they could have possibly looked like long ago. But you guys, let's go ahead and do our Dino Bus egg hunt. So this is the very first egg hunt ever done in the Dino Bus. So thank you guys so much for tuning on in. Now, if you're watching or listening on a podcast platform like iHeartRadio, Apple, Google, Spotify, all those, then go ahead and remember, skip over to my YouTube channel, Stomp Chomp Roar. You can click on the live tab and you'll find our live podcast. Then you will be able to actually watch and find the dinosaur egg. So I've got 12 eggs, a dozen eggs for you guys to find. Now, I contemplated how I was going to do this a little bit, and I decided to put them in my dinosaur diorama. So right here in front of me, I've got one of the biggest display case here in the Dino Bus, and it's filled with all kinds of dinosaurs. So what we're going to try to accomplish, I'm going to grab my camera that's just sitting over there, and I'm going to send it through the diorama. And hopefully I don't make anyone dizzy, and I keep the camera nice and steady, and hopefully I can stay close to my microphone as well so that you guys can hear me and there isn't any dead silence and things like that. So let's go ahead, let's make this a little bit easier. We will grab our huge camera. Boom, there we are. I'm going to grab this one. Here, one more question, David. How tall is the largest egg ever found, and how big is it in comparison to an ostrich's egg? So the biggest egg ever found is about 24, it's elongated, and it's about 24 inches long. So it's like ginormous. 2 feet long. So if I grab my shoes and put them up here, it's about 2 of my shoes. So an ostrich egg, ostrich is more a spheroidal shaped egg. It's more of a ball. But those ones, here, let's look it up here real quick. How big is an ostrich egg? Is it about 10 inches in diameter? Let's see. I guess it is a little bit elongated. See if I can go down here. Ostrich eggs are the largest of any living bird, averaging 6 to 8 inches in length and 4 to 6 inches in diameter, weighing around 3 to 4 pounds. Perfect. All right, so ostrich egg, 6 to 8 inches in length, whereas our biggest dinosaur egg about 24 inches. So quite a bigger than our ostrich today. Now, if you're thinking about T-Rex, I've read about the size of a loaf of bread. So think about 12 to 15 inches in length for our Tyrannosaurus Rex egg right there. But here, that was our evidence, or that was our little bit about an ostrich egg. And it is it's not a total sphere, but it also doesn't get wider and narrower. So it's kind of more of an oval, but kind of keeping more of that sphere type shape. But you guys, let's go ahead and do our dinosaur Easter egg hunt. So what I'm going to do, I already switched my camera right there. I'm going to grab my camera. So let's see how we're going to do this. We will grab the camera. Perfect. Now you guys can see me. Don't look up my nose. We will spin the camera around. There's my computer. And boom, there is our dinosaur diorama. So I'm going to try and keep this as steady as I can. And you guys, what we're going to be doing here is looking for 12 dinosaur eggs. And these are not just any eggs. These are galaxy eggs. And these are for our astronauts up there in space right now on their way to the moon. So we've got 12 eggs, okay? So I'm going to slowly move my camera around. And as you guys are watching, you can go ahead and look for those dinosaur eggs. Count them in your head. We've got 12 to look for. And I kind of made it a little bit easier. I put 4 eggs in each section. Ooh, look, there's Troodon over there. There's Herrerasaurus. Ooh, T-Rex. What's T-Rex eating right there? I don't know. Ooh, there's our velociraptors back there coming out of their cage. Look, there's even little beta. What is that? A ginormous sauropod. All right, here comes the tricky part. I've got to move. So I'm going to move my computer. I'm going to try and switch hands as we switch it over into our other section. All right, we've got a sauropod. We got Mr. John Hammond right there. Ooh, look, some little Jeeps, our Explorer. So here we are in our next section. As I scoot over. All right, here's section number 2. We've got 4 more eggs to find. I don't even see. Oh, there they are. I see them now. We got 4 eggs. We got a big Apatosaurus, some babies, Dr. John Hammond, Bumpy. Ooh, look, Dimetrodon back there. We got a couple other Hadrosaur back there, Pachycephalosaurus. All right, there's section number 2. Hopefully you guys found all the eggs in the first 2 sections. Now the difficult part. We got to get back there to section number 3. So what I got to do is I got to grab this, and I got to move my microphone. Hopefully there's not too much feedback. Maybe I can do it this way. All right. Find 4 more eggs in that last section. There we go. That's a much better picture. There they are. All right. Find those last 4 dinosaur eggs, those last galaxy eggs. What's Therizinosaurus holding right there? And what is that on top of the volcano? Could that be a galaxy egg? All right. Perfect. We will slide back this way. Hopefully that gave everybody enough time to find all of our dinosaur eggs. We will switch our camera back around. Oh, let me show you guys real quick too. I promised. All right. There is an egg right there. A spheroidal egg. That one I believe is Saltosaurus or Camarasaurus. It's our sauropod egg. Then up there, I've got our oviraptor egg. So that one's quite a bit smaller than like the biggest one ever found. But you can see that big egg up there next to Velociraptor, oviraptor. All right, let's switch my camera back around. Boom, there I am. Move my laptop. Let's try and get situated back up so we can do our cage match. All right, there we go. So we got that camera kicked back on. We've got our profile. We'll move our microphone back. I hope you guys had a great chance to find all 12 of those dinosaur eggs, all of those galaxy eggs over there in our diorama. So that was our Dino Easter egg hunt. Perfect. I hope you guys found them all. I didn't make it too hard, but also try to make a couple a little bit more tricky, okay? So let's go ahead, you guys. We've got to do our cage match for today. Our prehistoric cage match, our who would win battle. We will grab our random genus generator. So here, if I can get situated here again. Everything's just all crumbled together. All right, there I am. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and grab our spinning wheel of doom, where we're going to put 2 dinosaurs into the cage match. Our PCM wheel, here we are. Let's go ahead and give it a spin and see who will be removed from the list. We're down to 63 dinosaurs. This started with 100. We're getting down there, and I know eventually we're going to be able to do a great battle. We want to see 2 meat-eating dinosaurs. Let's go. It's spinning around. Who will we get for today's dinosaur battle? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, don't do this. Don't do this. Okay, it kept going. It almost landed on chicken, but it landed on the Coelodonta. The Coelodonta. All right, we'll remove our woolly rhino. And we will give it one more spin, okay? Our Coelodonta. Versus who? Ooh, velociraptors. I kind of like that. I mean, it's not dinosaur versus dinosaur. We will remove the velociraptors, and you know what velociraptors do you? You know what they have. They've got the pack. All right, you guys, it's time to go on in. My favorite, David, that one was my favorite setting up too when I put the possibly a dinosaur galaxy egg in the Therizinosaurus's claws. It looks super cute. But what about the T-Rex eating the egg? I forgot to do it, but I was going to have Troodon cracking open one of the eggs, and then I forgot to go back and do it. But you guys, let's go into our prehistoric cage match of the day, our PCM. Here we go, folks. We've got a showdown for everybody today between two prehistoric creatures that want to battle one-on-one inside the squared circle in our prehistoric cage match for this evening. First up, we've got the Coelodonta, or sometimes referred to as the woolly rhinoceros. Now, this one is up to 12.5 feet long, 6.5 feet high, and could weigh up to 2 tons. 2 tons. It is heavy and it is big, up to 12 feet, almost 13 feet in length. And it has the longest recorded horn, which was 4.6 feet in length. So it has an almost 5-foot horn. I could lay down right here and I'd just simply be a foot and a few inches away from being the same size as a woolly rhinoceros horn. So Coelodonta right there. And up next, we've got our velociraptors. The velociraptors up to 6 feet long, 3 feet high, and could weigh maybe only up to 40 pounds. The size of a turkey with those 3-inch claws that were pointed inward and not slashing like we see on the toys. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and do it. We've got Velociraptor, we've got Coelodonta, and they're right here in the squared circle on Good Friday. Who will come out on top of this prehistoric battle? The Velociraptor comes on up, and it starts sort of circling the Coelodonta. Coelodonta, unscathed. It doesn't even know what's going on. It's just sitting there enjoying maybe some light grass down there in the arena. It is even bothered by this little turkey-like guy. Then the Velociraptor goes and tries to strike at the woolly rhinoceros. It's covered in hair. That long hair is protecting it, that big great coat. It didn't really even do anything, you guys. Then what happens? Caw! Caw! The Velociraptor lets off a Jurassic Park-like roar up into the sky, calling out to the other Velociraptors. Here they come. Another 3 Velociraptors enter into the arena. We've got 4 Velociraptors. We've got 1 Coelodonta. Now Coelodonta's looking around. What seems to be going on, guys? Are we here for Easter ham dinner? Nope. They're here for Coelodonta. They're here for woolly rhino. The Velociraptors all start storming in. They lunge up and jump up onto our Coelodonta, and our Coelodonta starts kind of jumping around, shaking them off, and it spins around and gets one of the Velociraptors with its huge horn. The Coelodonta spins around again and stomps forward, stampeding over the other Velociraptor. We're down to 2 raptors, you guys. Coelodonta turns back around and now sees the last 2 Velociraptors right there in front of it. It does a stampede-like motion, and it runs forward. The Velociraptors jump onto his back and start slashing you guys with their sickle-like claws. Our Coelodonta is like a rodeo bull. It starts jumping up and down, trying to shake off the Velociraptors. The Velociraptors strike down and are dazed by the falling down onto the ground, you guys. The Coelodonta spins back around and stompedes forward again, crushing one of the Velociraptors. 1 Velociraptor left. And it spins around and gets in full contact with that 4.6 horn, you guys. That 4.6 foot horn. Our Coelodonta strikes the last Velociraptor with that horn and sends it off into the galaxy. And there we have it, you guys. Our winner for today, the Coelodonta. Perfect. There we have it, you guys. Our Coelodonta is our cage match winner for today. Velociraptors, they're just too small. They're too turkey-like. Now, if it was Jurassic Park velociraptors, okay, I would have gave it to velociraptors. But Coelodonta, too big, 2 tons, it just too ginormous. It's got a very thick coat, you guys. It's protected. It's got that weapon on its head, that 4.6-foot horn, you guys, the biggest horn ever found. I couldn't give it away to the velociraptors. Now, if it had been Jurassic Park, but what if? All right, Coelodonta is our match winner for today. But let's go ahead and we'll grab our last few things before we log off for episode number 20. All right, thank you guys all so much, all my dinosaur kids, all our prehistoric fans, all our T-Rex enthusiasts, all our Spinosaurus lovers, everybody that loves dinosaurs. Thank you for tuning in and making it this far on episode number 20, our Dino Egg Hunt. Now, have you guys colored any eggs? I believe so. Today is Friday, so we're either doing it tonight or tomorrow during the day. So tonight, you guys, there's no fish fry. Our church doesn't have it on Good Friday, so we made it a tradition, my family and I. We go to a restaurant called Amigos, and it's Mexican food, and they have a seafood menu during Lent. So we're going to go get some crab rangoon, little crispy burrito things, and some fish and shrimp tacos tonight, and then possibly color some eggs. If not tonight, we'll color eggs tomorrow, so I'll try and make some cool dinosaur-like eggs, or maybe even some of those galaxy eggs like we saw during our dino egg hunt. But we're ready for the Easter weekend, you guys, and then on Easter, we'll go to church in the morning, and then we go to my wife's grandparents. They do an Easter egg hunt for my kiddos, and then we have a very nice ham dinner and celebrate the day that Jesus rose again. So whether you guys, I get it all the time. I don't want to get too much into it, but there's sometimes I go to churches and I get cornered by the priest or maybe the principal of the school because I am talking about dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs. I want you to love dinosaurs. But we don't have to make dinosaurs controversial. Oh, dinosaurs never lived, or dinosaurs are fake, or are you going to be talking about evolution? Adults always want to make things, argue about things, and I'm here to bring the fun and the excitement of these awesome creatures to kids in a fun and exciting way, showing them all kinds of cool dinosaurs, doing volcano explosions, and feeling fossils, and even real ones. So I personally have found fossils. So fossils are real. So it's not like they're all fake, and these are all fake creatures, you guys. So fossils are real, so we know they at least lived long ago, right? But then you get into the topic of how old the Earth is. You know, how old? No one truly knows. If we knew everything, then I would put all my money on black, and it would hit, and I would win $1 zillion. So there's my rant. I can be Christian, and I can believe in God and Jesus and have faith, and I just want to be a good person. And that's what I truly believe faith does. It makes us good people. We want to do good things for us, for our families, for our community, and be able to help anybody and everyone we can, and just be good human beings. And I also want to talk about science and talk about dinosaurs and all kind of cool things like that. So that is my small rant. We can have a little bit of both. We don't have to be so secluded to one side or the other where we don't give the other side any kind of, I don't want to say argument or points to stand on, but just be nice to people. We can like dinosaurs, we can have religion, and they can be one, and we can just all get along. So that is my Easter rant. It shouldn't be too much a rant for Easter, but you guys, that's all I'll say about that. Perfect. All right, let's move on. So happy 8th birthday, you guys. I'm doing Flynn's 8th birthday tomorrow. He's doing a Triassic period birthday party. I can't wait to go do that birthday party this weekend for him out in Fremont, Nebraska, and it's going to be tons and tons of fun. Now, you guys, next week, let me tell you this. Next week, listen up. I'll be on vacation. That's right. Next Friday, I'm going to Nashville, Tennessee. That's where we're flying into. We'll go to Dixon, Tennessee, and then we'll go down to Bon Aqua, That's where my mom lives, so her house is out there, you guys. So we're going to go to visit her and Danny and see everybody out there and see all kinds of fun, cool stuff. My wife, she loves country music. We'll do some country music things. I think we're going to go to the Grand Ole Opry and do a tour down there. So anyway, long story short, next Friday, I will not be on a scheduled 11 a.m. podcast. So 11 a.m. next Friday, I will not be here. But I still want to try and put some videos together. So you still might see some videos get uploaded to my YouTube channel, and go ahead and watch those and check it out. Maybe I can jump on a quick quick YouTube live and record something live while we're out there. But it's just, you know how hectic vacations can be. I don't want to set an exact time for something and then I miss it, and I feel bad for anybody that might have got on. So just search my YouTube, hit the bell button so that you're notified anytime that I go live or post a video, any kind of notification, and I will be there. All right, let's go ahead and do a joke before we leave for today. Why did the oviraptor open a hatchery? Why did the oviraptor open a hatchery? I don't know. Think about it for a second. Why did the oviraptor open a hatchery? What could it be? What could it be? David, of course, will not forget my cowboy hat. He said that down there in the YouTube chat. I got my hat, and I'll grab my boots as well. But you guys, why did the oviraptor open a hatchery? A hatchery is where eggs are. Why did the oviraptor open a hatchery? Well, it's to finally clear his name. It's to clear his name one egg at a time. The oviraptor was framed. That's right, you guys. Oviraptor was framed. It was just sitting on the evidence. It was sitting on the eggs, trying to protect them from the sandstorm, and then later on, fossils were found. They thought it was the egg thief. They thought it was stealing eggs, when truly it was just trying to protect its young, you guys. So why did the oviraptor open a hatchery? To finally clear its name. One egg at a time, the oviraptor was framed, and it was just sitting on the evidence. So there you have it, you guys. I hope everybody has an amazing Easter weekend, whether you celebrate Easter or not. Just be good people. We love dinosaurs, and we want everyone to thrive, especially those astronauts up there on Artemis 2, as they're just bringing more science to our civilization. It's just so incredible, you guys. I made my 5-year-old or a 6-year-old. I had Reagan watch it with me. And I know that's something she's going to remember for her whole life. My dad made me sit down and watch the Artemis 2 launch, because it's not like it happens every day. So I can remember some of the launches from when I was a kid, back in the early 2000s, you guys. And it just, you don't forget those kinds of things. So I know it's something that Reagan will hold on to for long, long, long ago. Into the galaxy. All right, let's go ahead. We should do, whether it's on Patreon or on our podcast, we should do some kind of space themed. We'll grab my lightsaber and we'll do a mix-up, space and dinosaurs. Maybe the aliens just took the dinosaurs to another planet somewhere, and they truly aren't extinct. Wouldn't that be wild? Think about that for a minute. Or what if on another planet, dinosaurs are there? I saw this really cool thing. Listen to this. Listen to this. It's from, I can't remember his name. I watch all of his Facebooks and YouTubes. He's so smart, and I can't believe I can't remember his name right now. But he does all kinds of space stuff. So we said, if aliens or very advanced people on a planet somewhere, many galaxies away, and they were looking through the most advanced telescope that they had, that we even have, or that we know about. They were looking through this massive telescope from millions or tons, hundreds of galaxies away, and they found our planet, and they looked at it, and they could see it up close. They would see the dinosaurs, because the distance that has traveled, time hasn't caught up with it yet. So just like when we look up into the sky, we see stars. Some of those stars could be gone. They're just so far away, we haven't seen them what they are today because of time. And we're already going off into a space lesson. I gotta save all this stuff for when we do our space lesson. So stay tuned. We will definitely do some kind of space dinosaur mashup in the future, okay? But let's go ahead and do our closing slogan for today before we log off and call it a day. Call it a Friday. And after that, I got to go unload my Jeep from yesterday's show, put all my birthday stuff in there so we can celebrate Flynn's 8th birthday tomorrow, and then do some prop stuff. I got to do some more prop stuff today and buy some more things. I'm trying to get a brand new speaker, but here I am just ranting on and on. I just don't want to leave you guys for today, okay? So you guys have a great day, and let's go ahead and do our closing slogan. All right, you guys. Now, always remember, thanks to the dinosaurs for giving us this passion. But this is our world now. That's right, this is our world now. Get out there, do something good, and never be afraid to show your claws. Ranger Anthony signing out. Live long and prosper. That's right, David. We'll see you guys not next week. Watch for our YouTube videos. I'll be back in 2 weeks, and I think we're going to do a dinosaur battle episode all about dinosaur matches. It's going to be tremendous. It's going to be dinosaur mania. But you guys have a great weekend. Have an awesome Easter, and eat plenty of food. And just always remember, be nice to everybody out there. We'll see you guys later. Rah!